Hello out there in YouTube land. I'm the Record Hunter. Cheers. Well, I'm about to do the vinyl tag of 2023. The list is put together by Rob Walker. The first question on this list is, what's your favorite new album of 2022? Well, that would be Megadeth, but I do not own that record. So what I do own is this Kirk Hammett Portals. He's the guitar player for Metallica, and this is on blue vinyl. It's kind of an ambience guitar album. Good chill record. Not my favorite record of the year, but it's the only record I own from 2022, and it was a gift, record store day release, and I'm glad to have this in my collection. Okay. The next question is, what was the last band you saw live? Well, I went to see Macabre for the Holiday of Horror show in December. They are a death metal band that plays like songs about serial killers, basically, and my band got to play with them, so always love seeing Macabre. Great band. They've been around since 1985, I believe. And this record is from 1993, their most iconic record, so this is Slaughter. Okay, their first album is their best album. That would have to be from New York, the New York Hardcore, the Cro-Mags, Age of Quarrel. One of the greatest punk albums ever. Not just the greatest, not just their greatest album, but the greatest punk album, one of the greatest bands from New York Hardcore. We Gotta Know, World Peace, Hard Times, 1986, great album. Okay, it says, do a hat trick. Okay, my hat trick would be, first, put on my hat. And then the hat trick is to pull out an LP, show a CD, and show a cassette with that album. I don't have that. Or maybe I do, but I got all of my CDs packed away, and I'm sure I don't have any cassettes left. But I can do a trick. I am going to pull out this Misfits long box. This is they used to give these with the CDs. This long box is from 1989. And this album is from 1982. And I'm going to show the 1989 release of this Walk Among Us Misfits record. It's the same as the long box. And I'm going to do one more hat trick. I am going to pull out this Van Halen 8-track from 1980, Women and Children First. And here's the album. Okay, the next question is a band that starts with the same letter and ends with the same letter. That would be the Beatles, Yesterday and Today, from 1966. Don't get too excited, this is a reissue. I'm still on the hunt for an original, peeled or unpeeled, or both. Okay. Old Record Hunter here is getting kind of old. They want to know a artist who was born the same year as me. Ooh. Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., 1972. Ugh, getting old there. Okay. A record you listened to the most in 2022. Okay, let me tell you real quick, because people are going to be like, Record Hunter, you listen to jazz? Yeah, I like jazz. And I like bebop especially because I discovered it gets really, really fast and aggressive, and I love fast and aggressive music. And I just love music in general, but bebop is definitely my favorite style of jazz. And this is the Peter Gunn soundtrack from Henry Mancini. They put out two Peter Gunn albums. This one's from 1959. and they're really great. They're great albums. He just mainly got lost in the jazz world because he did a lot of musical scores, so people don't realize how great these records are. This is not so aggressive as much as like the bass lines are awesome in this album. Okay, the artist I listened to the most in 2022, and this does get aggressive and fast, and it's bebop jazz. It's Thelonious Monk, the complete genius. This came out in 1976. This is a compilation of songs from like 1947 to 1951. Really great. I got a little obsessed. I was like watching videos and listening to like MP3s, and I need more albums by Thelonious Monk. Oh. Okay, show an Australian band. This is Angel City, known as the Angels in Australia. This is a great band. I have the first record too, which is a little more aggressive punk ish. It's like AC/DC, but I love this song on this record a lot called No Secrets. I say go, once you're off this video, go click on that video and watch it. It's, if you like the Buzzcocks and the Clash, it's kind of like the Buzzcocks and the Clash meet AC/DC. Great album from 1980. Oh, I was trying to say one more thing. Why they had to change their name is because there was a band called Angel, who was huge at the time in the late 70s and early 80s, so they changed the name to Angel City for the United States and Europe. Okay, a artist you own the complete collection. You're a completist on. Oh boy, this was really hard because I own 5,000 records, and I looked through all my records. Now it's just kind of mind blowing to find out that I do not own every record by one artist. The closest I could come was the Dead Kennedys. I own every record by them. I believe all their singles on 12-inch and 7-inch. I'm missing one live album, but this is the Dead Kennedys. Give me Convenience or Give Me Death. I'm not going to show them all because there's so many of them, and I'm going to do a separate video just on that sometime in the future. Okay. The record that surprises people when they see it in your collection. Well, I got a good story for this. It was 1997, and my brother and my friends, we were out bar hopping. I think it might have been right around St. Patrick's Day or something on the south side of Chicago. We were bar hopping, and we wound up in a bar on the south side. It was a biker bar, and I walked in, and as soon as we walked in, they gave us like really mean looks, and we were just trying to play a little bit of pool, and so I go to the jukebox. There's this thing I used to do that I thought was really funny, is I used to always try to find the worst possible song I could find in the jukebox, and so I picked Aqua's Barbie Girl. This is a single. I picked this up at the thrift store for, I don't know, a buck or something. But my brother goes to me and says, "Dude, you are an asshole." And my other friends are like, "You're trying to get us killed? What are you doing?" Yeah, I guess we were lucky that we didn't get killed. But when that song went on, everybody in the bar just turned their head and stared right at me. And I couldn't get the stupid big smile off my face. I just found it hilarious. So, Barbie Girl. Okay, 3 consecutive albums that are great in a row. Okay, that would be 1981's Song of Praise by the Addicts. Amazing punk album from England. For some reason that they still haven't reissued this record. It's original press. Maybe someday they will. They should. It's their best album. And 1982's The Sound of Music. Another great album. 1985's Smart Alex. Another great album. 3 great albums in a row. Okay. Show a 80s soundtrack. Well, I'm going to show this 1987 movie, Dudes. It's starring John Cryer, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, even though for some reason Red Hot Chili Peppers are not on the soundtrack, and Leaving from Fear. Well, Fear's not on here either. Yeah, and he plays like a bad guy. It's a pretty good soundtrack, mostly heavy metal. See Megadeth's on there, Keel, but then there's a little bit of the punk. Vandals are on here, and the first time I heard Jane's Addiction was in this movie, and they're on this soundtrack, 1987. Dudes. Okay, people we had lost. Someone we lost in 2022. Well, this one was a little tough for me. Steve Grimmett, of Grim Reaper. 1983 record. See You in Hell. It's a little tough for me because my band played with them many years ago, and we always stayed in touch online, and we hung out at the show, and then I hung out a couple other times I saw him, and it was a real shame to see this guy go, and it's a bummer. But killer album. This guy, it was like a metal god, like super vocals, great singer. Okay, Holy Grail. Well, I don't have any Holy Grails, but I do have a top 10 list, and this was part of my top 10, and that would be Junior and the Soulettes and the Psychedelic Sounds. Basically, this is a kid band from 7 to 11, and it was an 11-year-old prodigy guitar player and his 3 sisters, and they played like psychedelic garage meets like northern soul with a little bit of gospel, I guess. 1971, good album. Okay. Show a record with a space theme album cover or music. I'm going to show this 1984 Doctor Who picture disc. It was it's called The Music of Doctor Who, and I haven't heard this in so many years. I'm probably going to give this a spin tonight, probably after this video. Okay, most disappointing purchase of 2022. Well, old record hunter here has been a little bit broke in 2022, and actually ever since the pandemic it's been a little tough, so I didn't buy that many records. So that's the most disappointing thing to me, as I haven't been able to buy as many records as I like. But that's the most disappointing. Otherwise, everything I did purchase I enjoyed, or whatever, anything I got as a gift or purchased I enjoyed. Talking about gifts, the next question is a gift that somebody in the VC or somebody personally gave you. Well, that would be this Record Store Day record by Art Pepper meets the Rhythm Section from 1957. This is a reissue from Record Store Day. It's the mono version, and it sounds amazing. More jazz, more bebop jazz. Just amazing record. My DJ partner, Lydia Vomito, gave it to me, and we do a radio show every first and third Monday called Release the Hounds on Lumpin' Radio. That's www.lumpinradio.com or 105.5 FM Chicago. So if any bands are out there want to like send us their stuff, if they play like metal, punk, goth, industrial, any type of underground rock, send it to us and maybe we'll play it on the air. Okay, a non-vinyl purchase. That would be this DVD, Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich. Saw this at the theater. this is probably the worst Puppet Master movie, but I found this at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So that made my day. That was a great purchase for $1.25, and I'm going to give it another watch because I didn't like it when I saw it at the theater, but maybe I'll like it the next time around. And you got it for $1, so what can you say? What I can say is, what does that have to do with music? It doesn't have nothing to do with music, but I also like horror movies and retro gaming and like little toys and stuff that you see up there. Last question for the vinyl tag of 2023 is the 50th year question. Show a record from 1973. I'm going to show this Funkadelic record, Cosmic Slop. It's a lot to take in here, so I'm going to show this for a moment. On the other side here. When I was a kid, my parents owned this record, and I used to look at this record for hours. I would always look at this record. I was so amazed by the album cover. I was fortunate to meet and hang out with Art Bell a couple times. He's the guy who drew the records. And the thing I really, really got a kick out of when I was a kid is somewhere in here, Bert from Sesame Street was in the picture. I watched Sesame Street when I was a kid, so I really love that. This is my second favorite P-Funk record. Maggot Brain's my first. I highly suggest, anybody who likes P-Funk or funk should give this record a spin, because it really jams. Well, that's it. That's my vinyl tag for 2023. I want to say cheers to everybody out there in the VC and YouTube and music lovers everywhere. And I'll catch you on the next video when the hunt is on. Cheers.